I'm gonna be making a little bit different category of a video that still is related to investing, but it's more so just about everything in general. When it comes to your financial life, investing is just one key part of it. But I do have other things going on besides investing because just investing wouldn't work for me. You got to have a job. You got to have ways to make money. If investing doesn't go well, what can you fall back on? So I just want to go over the quick points of, on here, total net worth. This number sounds really great, but at the end of the day, it's really not that great, a lot of times because it comes with a lot of debt. It shows the liabilities here is 9,600. Yeah, I've got way more liabilities than that. But they count as assets because, they're not, depreciating, but when it comes to bills, yeah, the assets are really high, but then, that comes with a lot of baggage and a lot of nonsense that is pretty difficult to manage by yourself. Like I said, I got my parents that are a big help. I do have a pretty helpful girlfriend too that just, they help me with everything. They help me with everything. My life would be a lot different, without the help that I do have. I still feel like I do, the majority of the heavy lifting, but I don't know anybody that can, do this much stuff without some kind of support, without losing their mind. So I just want to go over a quick couple of points. The first one is the real estate. I don't want to click on it, because it has the address, to the properties, but, 3 properties, listed at 755,000. That fluctuates because they're all listed through Zillow. So Zillow kind of keeps your price updated. One of those properties is my parents' house. So, technically it's mine on paper, but it's not, when it comes to being responsible for it, never going to sell it because it's my dad's house. But, when it comes to, hey, if I needed to take out a $300,000 loan, my mom, my dad wouldn't bat an eye. They would let me do whatever I got to do because the property's been enlisted to me. So my net worth is inflated, but it is real. It is mine. I've been deemed responsible for it. So it's not like really a lie. It just is what it is. If I wanted to live there, I could with my parents. But, for the long term, it will be used as an asset. Never going to sell it though. And then the second one is investments. That number is also somewhat inflated. I do have this many, those hidden accounts are like, random accounts I made for family members. But these main 3 accounts, the buy and hold one that I've been making videos about, my IRA is pretty small. My Robinhood's doing pretty good. And it does show 35,000. That is actual money invested. Crypto, never going to talk about because I really don't know a lot about crypto. I just throw peanuts into it when I'm bored. Cash, this is an actual number. I am negative cash. My main checking, $10,000. That's real. But the, hey, Robinhood, that's the big issue of my finances right now. This is one of the big issues. I am kind of leveraged in margin pretty hard. So that is a little risky when you think about it. I am borrowing $18,000. It is low interest, but I am borrowing a lot of money. And I borrowed the money for a million different reasons, to invest in other things. So right now I'm just kind of, all the investments are coming back to bite me. So now it's time to work and make the money back, now that the money's been, borrowed and invested into multiple different things. And the bottom one here is credit cards, not the end of the world. It's not great having $10,000 of credit card debt, but it's not as painful as you might think. My Apple card's running pretty low. I barely use it. My American Express card's barely used. And then my gold card is used for like everything because it has a 3% cash back on it. 3% of everything I swipe on this card can be invested. And the money is invested into my larger margin account, but it's still 3% on everything. So anybody that has Robinhood, I would go out of your way to get this credit card because like my account, I've been able to invest a lot of money. Because I pay for all my gas, I pay all my bills, I buy all my food with this Robinhood Gold card. I just haven't been making a lot of money, so this number looks really bad. When the number was below 1,000, it felt great because my investment account was going way up, and I just paid it back as I made the cash. So I think that's all I got for you guys. I do want to keep up to date on this number because I'm trying to get to 800,000 by the end of the year is what I really want to get to, because I do want to climb to 1 million. I believe the year 2027, ending in 2028, I believe by the end of next year, I can get it to $1 million. There's a couple of different reasons why I think I'll get to that number. but that can be talked about at a later date. I just wanted to make a different kind of video and not just go on and on about this tiny brokerage account. There's not that much to talk about with just one small account.